For decades, Somaliland was ignored. Not because it failed, but because it succeeded too quietly. And now, suddenly, the president of Somaliland is in Davos. Not on the sidelines, not in the corridors, in the room where global power actually circulates. This is not symbolism. This is disruption. At the World Economic Forum, the meeting point of Europe's political class, global finance, and strategic power, Abdirahman Mohamed Abdullahi, known as Irro, is no longer acting like the leader of a forgotten region. He is behaving like the president of a state that expects to be treated as one. And then come the meetings. First with Isaac Herzog, the head of state of Israel. Not a courtesy handshake, a political discussion. A meeting that follows Israel's historic decision to formally recognize Somaliland, the first country in the world to do so, 35 years after Somaliland declared independence. That alone changes everything. But Davos does not stop there, because the next meeting is the one that made diplomats, analysts, and regional rivals sit up straight. A closed-door discussion lasting hours with Eric Trump. And no, this is not a random name. Eric Trump is not a politician. He does not hold public office, but he is a senior executive inside the Trump Organization, the business empire of the Trump family. He is deeply embedded in global investment networks, real estate, logistics, and international deal-making. In today's America, business power and political power do not live in separate worlds. They overlap, constantly. This is why the meeting matters. Because Somaliland is no longer talking about aid. It is talking about investment, livestock industrialization, agriculture, export chains, logistics hubs, ports, land, stability, geography. Somaliland sits at one of the most strategic choke points on the planet, along the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. Ships carrying energy, goods, and global trade pass just off its coast every day. And at Berbera, Somaliland controls a deep-water port that could reshape regional trade routes, not just for itself, but for the entire Horn of Africa. This is the offer Somaliland brought to Davos. Not desperation, leverage. For years, Somaliland waited for recognition by arguing legality, history, and governance. It worked internally, but it failed externally. Now the strategy has changed. Recognition through relevance, recognition through economics, recognition through unavoidable facts. Israel understood this. That is why it moved first. And once one country breaks the taboo, others start recalculating. Quietly, pragmatically. The backlash was predictable. Somalia objected. The African Union expressed concern. China and Turkey warned about territorial integrity. But notice something important. None of them argued that Somaliland is unstable. None of them claimed it lacks governance. None of them denied its control over territory. The argument is no longer about reality. It is about precedent. And Davos is where precedents quietly die. Because investors do not wait for UN resolutions. They move when conditions are right. And when investment flows, politics eventually follows. That is why the meeting with Eric Trump matters more than any press release. It signals interest. It signals curiosity. It signals that Somaliland is now on the radar of American business networks closely aligned with political power. And once that door opens, it does not close easily. Could this lead to United States recognition? Not tomorrow, not next week. But the logic is there. Business engagement, strategic geography, Israeli recognition, Red Sea security, trade routes, stability in a volatile region. Washington notices these things. Somaliland has spent 35 years proving it can govern itself. Now it is proving something else, that ignoring it is becoming costly. Davos was not the end of the story. It was the signal that the story has entered a new phase. And the real question now is this: if Somaliland is already being treated like a state by investors, diplomats, and strategic partners, how long before the world admits what it has been dealing with all along? If you liked this video, subscribe to Horn Daily. We do in-depth analysis of the events that really matter in the Horn of Africa and East Africa, beyond the headlines and the noise. If you want context, strategy, and stories that others miss, you are in the right place. Thank you for watching.